Well, hey folks, it's your old pal, King Waspinator. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. Now, I'm just going to make this simple. Are you a fan of the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies? At least the first two, not that third one. Do you also like Stargate and Stargate SG-1? Well, I have a little game here that you might enjoy called Expedition to Ancient Egypt. It's the second part in my series of pulp novel-based role-playing games that I'm putting out. There's already a third one, but I don't have a physical copy of it yet, so I'll wait till then to make a video about it. But it's also available on Amazon, and is actually rather related to this. The premise of this is pretty simple. It's just a classic, action adventure setup. Characters are members of a expedition from a magazine called International Geographer Quarterly in the year 1911, and they go to the city of Thebes in southern Egypt and get sucked back in time to the very aftermath of the Bronze Age collapse, right around the year 1054, giveabouts, and provides like a whole little campaign outline. It gives you a nice starting point for your characters. There's an end to it to get them home, but in between, a whole bunch of different options in terms of types of villains, monsters, creatures, and organizations that you could use as a game master to provide all sorts of little classic action-packed adventures. The rule system is OSR inspired, but it is not a D20 system. It's a rule system of my own devising, where I'm basically trying to do an OSR version of something akin to like the 1990s White Wolf rules, although changed significantly enough that they're not the White Wolf rules, but inspired by, let's say. And characters are pretty fragile. They stay that way. It's a thinker's game. You have more than one kind of stat that you have to keep track of to keep control of your character. It's not just their health. You also have to juggle their sanity and their morale, which fits in nicely with the fantasy horror kind of setup that this has. The monsters are all designed as such that, this isn't, like a D&D game where you're supposed to chew through like 20 goblins to fight the boss. Every single monster encounter could be an adventure all in and of itself. There's a second character creation section in it that allows you to make characters native to the timeline in case, your first batch of characters gets killed or something, or for that matter, you can just ignore the initial setup and just use this purely just to set and run a campaign in Bronze Age Aegypt. There's very ancient aliens kind of thing going on with a lot of the supernatural creatures, although other ones are actually supernatural creatures, so it's a little mix of magic and high technology kind of thing going on. Lots of room for you as a GM to insert your own ideas and interpret things the way you want to. There's political plots between Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt. I dabble a bit in trying to base it somewhat in actual historical fact of the time period, but I don't really nail myself down on that. If you, as the one running it, if you want to have a super, accurate version of this that would please any Egyptologist, you can. Or you can just lean into the pulp action kind of tone that it has and just have it just be, just some silly lighthearted adventures where you're playing some white dudes from the early 1900s going back in time to have some fun in ancient Egypt. So of course, I recommend you pick it up. It's mine, and I profit off that. You can get it on digital download on DriveThruRPG, and as I mentioned, you can get it on print from Amazon. They're both about the same price. I feel like you get more bang from your buck getting the book version, but I make more money if you buy the digital version. So I'll leave that up to you, which you would decide to do. But in either case, I feel like it's definitely like one of the high notes of my early phase of cranking out games. As I said, there's already a follow-up to this called Ghosts of the Shadow Zone. It's up for print on Amazon. It's still waiting for approval for DriveThruRPG, so it might not be there for another couple days, depending on when you watch this video. But that one is set in the 1970s. It's kind of like an occult horror, mystery kind of vibe. The characters can either be ghosts or can be mortal occultists. It's got a couple interesting occult groups that you can join or, go up against. The thing that relates it to this, though, is not only the presence of Anubis, but also the fact that basically Ghosts of the Shadow Zone is taking the afterlife from this world and just expanding on it a lot. And you can use it very much as like a supplement to this game, just to have further details on what the Shadow Zone is like. And it does get a bit more in depth in how some of the magic effects work with this system. This is a bit more vague and kind of just leaves it up for you to, you know, make your own interpretations how these things work, the way an old school game is supposed to be. So, you know, for the price, it's definitely, you know, you'll get your entertainment's worth. As I say, this is my series. I'm basically approaching writing role-playing games as if they were pulp novels. It's written in a pulp style. It's short, it's punchy, it's to the point. And as you go through it, you actually kind of learn the story of the game itself and of the setting, and so it should hopefully be an entertaining read in and of itself, even if it's not a traditional novel. So I'll have some links in the description below. Be sure to check it out. If you do check it out and you like it, let me know. The more direct feedback I can get on this channel about the books I'm putting out will just lead to better books, better rules, better settings, and also, you know, it'd be nice to know if which of these actually might deserve a direct sequel and all that. So check it out. Stay waspinated. Tell me in the comments, like, I'm just a gigantic shill sellout for myself. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Talk to you later.